Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and it's an honour to say a few words about a life of a true parliamentarian, a remarkable MPP, a leader, a father, a husband, physician, Dr. Stuart Smith. Dr. Smith had a diverse career, and there's not enough time to go through all the aspects of that career. We might be into orders of the day. Most importantly, he was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. Before coming to politics, he was a student activist. He graduated in medicine in McGill, became an associate professor of psychology at McMaster. When he was first elected as MPP for Hamilton West, he won that election. Bob Nixon stepped down, and he decided to run for the leadership. And he won that leadership in 1976, defeating David Peterson, who would later become Premier. He led the party in the 1977 provincial election, where our party displaced the New Democrats as the official opposition. He led the party in that election and in 1981, and he was up against a formidable opponent, Bill Davis's Big Blue Machine. Not an easy task. During his leadership, though, Dr. Smith transformed our party. He came after Bob Nixon, who was kind of Mr. Ontario, and he knew everybody everywhere. But what he believed was that we had to have policies that were based in evidence, that were meaningful, that were going to work. And that work that he did led to the breakthrough in the 1985 election. And as most of us here know, sometimes you don't get to the top of the mountain, but the work you do is important for the people that come after you, no matter what party you're in. So I had a chance to talk to my friend Charles Beer, who I worked with here. Some of you may know. He worked for Dr. Smith alongside people like Gordon Floyd, our colleague here, Mike Gravel, and Golden. Charles said he was one of the brightest, most hard-working people he'd ever met. So I want you to think about this, for those of us that are old enough, early 80s. Dr. Smith told his Liberal caucus that they had to meet, all of them had to meet, with the leaders of the Toronto's gay community. Not optional. He introduced a private member's bill that with the help of Albert Roy, who was an MPP from Ottawa, that was the basis of what became the French Language Services Act here in Ontario. A really important piece of legislation. So many people who I've talked to said politics didn't come easy to Dr. Stuart Smith. And his staff would encourage him to go to events and say, do what Bill Davis does. Go around, shake people's hands, talk to them. And his response was, well, I don't want to bother them. So Charles also said, when there was a big event coming up, they would pray that Patty would be there, because he always did better when Patty was there, and she was a real force in her own right. After leaving politics, Dr. Smith was a devoted public servant as well, too. He served as the chair of the Science Council of Canada, and from 1995 to 2002, the chair of the National Roundtable of the Environment and the Economy. So I spoke to my federal counterpart, David McGuinty, who worked with him at that roundtable. And David said this: he was renowned for his brilliance, his modesty, and humble approach. He mentored hundreds of people. His work on science, sustainability, and the economy is unmatched. Next to my father, he is a person who has had the most profound influence on my life. And I don't think that, from my discussions with people, that David's the only person who felt that. Dr. Stuart Smith believed that the two most important things in life are love and learning. His life clearly demonstrated that. A true public servant and an incredible human being. To Patty, Tanya, Betsy, Craig, and Sandra, and his grandchildren, Kyle, Dylan, and Alexandra, Mikhail, and Isaac, thank you for sharing your husband, your father, and grandfather with the people of Ontario and the people of Canada. It made a huge difference. Thank you.